Alright, this is going to be the release video for the Brizo. Brizo is an ancient Greek goddess who was known as the protector of mariners, sailors, and fishermen. This was the boat from my career build series. It took 31 episodes to get to the boat to where I thought it was a good release. For those who've been watching the series, I go from taking this from one block up to the boat that it is now. Do a bunch of missions, show its capabilities. So in this release video, I'm just going to try to, as quickly as possible, go through some of the stuff and do a tutorial. So first thing you notice as we step closer, the lighting comes on. Alright, we'll jump on, we'll do a quick little exterior. As you can see, it fits in the career starter base. That was the point of this, was, this is a career boat, and so this is starts as a beginner boat. So we'll jump on, so do a little walk around here. So in the rear we have rope lockers. We have a winch for towing. We have deck lighting. As we walk around the rail, we go up the front here. We have more. We have the little Stormworks glitch where there's water in there, but it's not going to flood anything. Rails. We have tie downs for docks. We have our winch for our anchor. On the front here, we have a hose that we can plug in, and I need to turn it. Nope, I don't need to turn the systems. It's hot. So there we go. We have a fire hose for fighting fires. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's go inside. So as we go inside here, as you can see, we have seating for 8, so we can do any of the rescue missions. We have fire extinguishers, defib, a bunch of med kits. We have binoculars, flashlight, compass. We also have a repair torch, and we have firefighting gear. As you notice, the lights will start on and white as you approach with your player. You can press the light button again and you'll get red lights. That also is for the deck lighting. Press it one more time, they go off. When the lights are on, you can make them brighter. You can also dim them, as you can see there. And this one right here is nav lights. So as we turn on our nav lights, you can see we have white stern, red port, green starboard. Alright, let's go ahead in here, and we'll leave our nav lights on. You'll also notice here, this is a backup battery, so an emergency situation, which we had in the career save, where we ran out of battery at one point and couldn't start our engines. We have two batteries. We have our normal battery and we have our backup battery. In the event that you were to drain the normal battery down too much, you could turn on this backup battery, and that will give you a whole nother battery. So that you can start your engine, start the APU, start any of the systems you need to regain electricity. So we'll leave that in the off position. That's for backup and emergencies. If we look at our seat, we have WS is our port throttle. Up down is our starboard throttle, only when desynced. So I'll show you the desync. Space is idle engine. Alright, so we'll hide those for now. So we'll start on the top left of the panel here. So we have master power. Master power connects the relay so that the battery is now connected to the non-essential systems. Systems will turn on all of our lighting and our panels. We have port engine start. That will start, stop, and auto restart. Start, stop, and auto restart. As you see, we have RPM for port and starboard. We have temp, port and starboard. We have fuel in gallons. We have 182 gallons. We have right here we have battery. It's showing us we're at 91% battery. It's showing we have a discharge, which makes sense because we're sitting still. We also have an APU. So if we click the APU on, as you can see, the APU comes on. It's automatic. It will automatically throttle to maintain battery charge. As you can see, it's keeping a 0 so that our battery is actually not discharging. You see it's going 0.91, as you can see. So it uses as little fuel as possible to maintain our battery. We also have alternators on the main engine, so we'll shut the APU off. So the alternators on the main engines, when we're up and running, will recharge the battery. The APU is good for when we're sitting. So we did a lot of sitting in the career build series as we went and did fuel trading, and so we needed a system to keep the batteries topped off. We also have solar on the roof, but solar is a little lacking in game. It's not that powerful. So we have our throttle gauges here that will show our thrust. So red's idle, green's forward, and yellow is reverse. We can control it, like I said, with the WS up down, or we can control it here with these buttons. We also have idle engines that will bring our engines to idle, so if we wanted to stop or if an emergency we can do that. That is also controllable by the space bar. I was talking about the desync really quick. So currently our engines are synced, so we can use WS to control the port throttle, and it will also match the starboard throttle, so both screws will be used at once. If we press desync, now we can control the port with WS and the starboard with up-down. That allows us to do asymmetrical thrust, and I'll show you some maneuvering. We have a digital speedometer. We have our winch in and out for when we're towing with our winch. We have port high temp that will come on and flash, starboard high temp that will come on and flash, low fuel, and low battery. Over here we have our waypoint, so I'll show you that, how the our ADF Navigation System works. Coming up here we have our ADF Navigation System, so we have heading hold to bearing. So when we put in a waypoint, and enter it in that keyboard over there, it's going to tell us what heading to turn to. It's going to tell us the time to the waypoint, the nautical miles to the waypoint. This is always going to point at the direction of the waypoint, and then when we press this, will automatically keep our boat going to the waypoint. And when we get in within a very short distance of the waypoint, it will automatically idle our engine so that we stop at the waypoint. So if you wanted to walk away from the computer and go get a coffee or do something, you can have it go to your first waypoint and it will automatically stop. We have a digital heading readout here, so our current heading is 179. We have a backup compass ball here. We have a transponder locator, so if you had a transponder mission, you can click this on. If there's a transponder signal, we'd get a visual beeping, we'd get a visual indicator of a light here that would beep as fast as it will. We'll also hear the audible beep. If we don't want to listen to the audible beep, we can silence the beep. Here we have our anchor. So our anchor up, down, and then it will show a green light when it is set, so when it is connected to something. And this is our regular heading hold. So with this we could enter in any heading we want. If we enter in a 0, it will disable the system. So currently it has a 0 in there. If we want to shut off heading hold, we want to put a 0. If you ever find that you're fighting the controls and it keeps trying to steer a way you don't want to, that's probably because you put something in the heading hold. So just enter in a 0 and it'll disable it. Alright, so let's get going here. We're just going to start pressing up with W. As you can see, our throttle indicator starts showing forwards. Alright, the anchor just snapped to the bow, so the anchor is set. Alright, so let's start playing with some of our systems here. So you see we have a top speed between 31 and 33 knots. Alright, which is a good brisk speed. Great for doing missions. We can also tow a full fuel barge at about 10 knots. My fuel barge holds about 30,000 liters of fuel, so that's nice and capable. Alright, so now we're going a heading of 144. Let's say that we want to go a heading of 120. We can put 120 in the heading hold. And as you can see, it's going to snap us to 120. And it's going to hold 120. Alright, so this is good for if we need to get out and do something. Next thing we can do is we'll put in a waypoint here, so let's get over here. Let's say we want to, we'll make a right turn to, we'll do it closer, we'll do it right there. Alright, so we want to go over to our waypoint, we want to enter in the waypoint. Let's go ahead and we'll put a 0 in here. We'll shut off our heading hold, that shuts off your heading hold. It's telling us if we turn to 192, we will head right to the point. As you can see, that makes sense. You notice that needle is pointing right to the point. It's telling us it's, now the time's going to change because we're not heading to it. It's 0.47 nautical miles. So let's go ahead and let's press heading hold to bearing. And as you can see, it's going to turn us to the waypoint. Alright, so we're going to leave that on there. So now it's a 214 heading. It's going to take us 0.7 minutes. And it's 0.37 nautical miles away. And as you can see, the needle's pointing straight up, the waypoint's straight ahead. Alright, so as soon as we get close, you'll notice that it will automatically idle the engines. And that will, so as you can see, that will allow you to go long distances and then walk away from the keyboard if you need to. If you're doing towing missions, which can also often be, you know, a little tedious, or, you know, because you're pulling weight with the back of the boat, you might have to constantly steer. With this, you can set either your manual heading hold, or you can set a waypoint and have this go to it. So this works well in career save where you can't see your waypoints. This will tell you the heading to go to your waypoints. And as you can see, when we got close to the waypoint, it automatically idled the engines. And you can see we are now stopped very close to the waypoint. Waypoint is currently 0.01 nautical miles away from us. So it stopped us nice and close to the waypoint. So we can shut that system off. Let me just quickly make sure it's daylight so we can see better. Alright, so let's do a maneuvering tutorial here. Alright, so let's talk about that desync that I was speaking about earlier. So if we press desync, so let's again go over how our thrust currently works. So currently our thrust works, it's synced by default. So we press W. As you can see, we start to go forwards. Both screws are going forwards, as you can see. If we hit either the space bar, if we hit the space bar, or we hit this idle engines button, it idles our engines. So it stops our movement. We can also just walk it down. So again, if we were going forwards and we wanted to go in reverse, we could just press down on the S key. And as you can see, it's going to put us in reverse. Both screws are in reverse because they're synced. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will idle it again. Alright, next thing we can do is we can desync our thrust to port. So now our thrust is controlled independently. So what's this good for? So let's say we want to make a right 360-degree turn. So we want to go up with W and down with the down arrow. And as you can see, now we're going to have one engine in forwards, and we have one engine in reverse. So as you can see, we're making a very tight, slow 360 degree turn here we'll make. So if I go full right rudder, as I just did, as you can see, we can accelerate that turn. We can also increase our thrust on it to 2 bars apiece. And as you can see, we can make a nice turn. So this is great for, you know, if you're in a tight space like a dock and you need to rotate around. So by the refinery, you know, in the career build series, we went in there and I needed to turn the ship around. So instead of backing out, I could do a 360-degree turn in the space of the dock. So that's what's good for desyncing the props. It gives you the ability to do that. So now if I want to just go forwards, I can bring up my starboard thrust. As you can see, the engine auto restarts. And as you can see, we're going again. So now I'm independently controlling both. I'm holding both. Alright, now I'm going to bring down the starboard if I want to match them. I just get rid of the desync, and now again I'm controlling them from just the port. So that gives us really great maneuverability. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll hit let's get close to the shore. I want to make sure we're shallow enough that we can set the anchor. So last thing we'll go over here is the anchor. And we'll just get in close to the shore. So it's a great craft for doing rescue missions. It is excellent for towing as well. It tows really well. Like I was saying, you could tow my barge, which I'll also release shortly. Tows 30,000 liters of diesel. That barge can also easily tow 1 container, and it does it about 10 knots. Alright, so we're nice. We're pretty good shallow-wise here. So another nice feature is with the space bar being your stop. Let's say we weren't paying attention, we're coming up on the shore too quick, and we press the space bar. As you can see, that will quickly idle us. Let me show you one more system before I go too far here. Alright, so now let's say we're going here. Alright, we're going full speed. Alright, we're just going to parallel the shore for now. And let's say we accidentally fall off or we hit a wave. Alright, as you can see, the boat automatically stops. There's a kill switch built into the boat, and it's based on the player sensors. So the same player sensors that controls the lights also controls the kill switch. So if we were to fall off this boat, as you can see, it stopped within a very swimmable distance at full speed. So even at full speed, you see how quickly we got back on our boat. So especially in a career save, if you die in a career save, you die. So it's nice to be able to just get right back on the boat. If you fall out, you know, you're not having to swim for miles. You know, you can just get right back on the boat. Alright, so now we're in shallow enough water, so let's go ahead and let's drop our anchor. As you can see, it's currently connected to our bow. That's because when we move, it will snap up and connect to our bow. If we press either the up or the down arrow anchor key, it will automatically release. Alright, It's a nice fast wind speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to let out all of our anchor cable here. All right, we'll try to set it. All right, so we're all out of anchor there. Let's go ahead and let's turn on max wind. All right, and this will set once it gets to a good position on the ground to grab. I have to actually make sure my buttons aren't selected. And as you can hear, it just connected. It's showing us connected. And as you can see, we have it. We're now anchored. So this is 100% wind. And as you can see, the anchor holds it just fine with 100% wind. All right, so as we're sitting here, what we can do is we can shut off our engines. As you can see, we're going to lose electricity at some point. You can see we're going to start losing a little bit of electricity there. As you can see, it's still going up a little bit, but it's still going up, as you can see, because of the solar. So as you can see, it's maintaining pretty well. We're losing a little bit, but as you can see, it was going up for a second there. That's because we have solar panels on the roof. If we were doing a mission, you know, if we were sitting there, say, waiting for the barge to fill with fuel, we could turn on the APU, and again, that will charge up the system. All right, and if we were just sitting here, we could shut off our systems like this, and as you can see, we get a much slower battery drain. As you see, it's very slow, so that should be fine. Now, the other thing is, let's say you run out of battery because you've been at anchor for 2 days. All you have to do is turn on your backup battery, and you're off to the races, start it again. So this isolates the backup battery, so this battery will not drain while you're just sitting here at anchor. All right, so let's turn the wind back off so you don't have to listen to it. All right, and then simply to bring the anchor back up, all you have to do is press the anchor up. They'll automatically disconnect it. And as you can see, the anchor will retract. So this is the Brizo, very capable little boat, good starter boat. It's designed so that you have to be a pilot for it. You know, it doesn't have too many hand-holding systems, but it's certainly capable, and you're able to navigate well and do a bunch of the career missions. So, nice little basic career boat, and it's part of the career build series. If you're interested in that, that's on my YouTube channel. All right, thank you for watching.